Yep.
Hello, my name's John Tyler Craig, and I'm here to tell you about my project for the festival we're having in the spring, as well as the 5K and the 10K. My project is known as Heal West Virginia. Heal West Virginia seeks to really enlighten the communities in Charleston and surrounding areas about the opioid epidemic happening in West Virginia. This can be done through having posters throughout the races, activity tents at the festival, and just anything students can really think of to get the message out about the opioid epidemic. I feel like my project falls under all the LLOs. For example, for citizenship, students are going to have to interact with the communities around them and also work to better themselves to truly understand about the opioid epidemic. As far as communication, we're about to talk to the people at UC as far as like students goes, and also communicate our ideas to the community. For creativity, students are going to find solutions to problems in a creative way as far as like communicating the information they want to, and really work through find solutions in areas in a creative way. As far as critical thinking, like I said, this kind of falls under creativity too. They're going to work through work through problems and really try to critique themselves when they're doing tasks just to make the project better. For ethical practice, we want to decide what we want to portray and when we want to portray it. And for inquiry, we want to obtain information from outside sources and cite it correctly and really convey the information as we get it. Here's the UC mission statement, but for my project, I feel that to make this goal one that's really beneficial, that it needs to be all individuals in our area, because these values really need to be shared in the community to make it a better place. So for the first step of my project, I really want to focus on getting other organizations involved. Here are a few listed, but there's much more that you could find. And there are groups who have experience in conveying information about drug abuse. And I feel like if we can get them on board, it will really help the project out. Groups in our area like restaurants or just any like businesses, you could also get them involved. Say, go to the race, get half off of a meal, just things like that to get people involved. Our second step in the project plan is to inform the public. I think we should really focus on urban and rural areas. I know rural areas have drug issues just as bad as urban cities, so we need to focus on them too. We're going to really need to utilize social media as well, Facebook groups, get on Snapchat, Twitter, just really raise awareness. And maybe even try some old ideas, like print out posters, hang up flyers, do that, like talk to people in the community about it. And I think we should really push to inform everyone up until the day of the event. There's no reason that we should stop talking about it until then. Finally, we're going to organize and actually execute the event. When we're doing this, we're going to have to really work together very well. We have a lot of classes of university students. If we're all working to gain information so we can convey it, we have to make sure there's no overlapping information. We really need to focus on local issues as well. We don't need to be talking about drugs they're using in California. We need to be talking about what's happening here. We know what, who, what, when, where. We're going to portray it in the race or at the festival. We need to really organize that. And most of all, we need to have fun and think outside the box. For my project resources, I have assisting organizations in the workforce together, because if we get a lot of organizations, we need to know who's going to work. Are we going to have organizations bring their own workers, or are we going to have students from UC to help at these places? Materials to illustrate ideas, we have to figure out if there's going to be posters needed, materials to write with like markers, pencils, maybe even technology. We really need to resolve that quick. And we really need good access to information, such as the library or other documents. Here's a bunch of constraints. I'm just going to talk about a few. Available resources, what do we have now? What can we use? We really need to know this before we get into the project. And also, maybe what if students don't cite things correctly and we fall out of useful information before the deadline? That's another big problem, and there's many more that can happen, but those are just two that I've personally thought of a lot. Here's my literature review and a bunch of sources I use to help me create my project. And in closing, I really just want to say that this project's important to me, and then I think it should be important to you too, as this is our community and we really need to help heal West Virginia.